Hello, everyone. My name is Tyron Jensen, and today I want to talk to you about back pain, lower back pain, posture, and how to rectify this pain and get your body moving again. Now, I've written a book called Fix My Fucking Back. It is the 7 secrets to destroying back pain and understanding the causations of that. Understanding how and why you've got back pain. If you're a proactive person, you can implement strategies to help remove back pain for life. Now, first of all, I want to talk to you about what's called the cycle of back pain, as you can see here. Now, it is a cyclical effect of diminishing returns of human productivity and function. Now, no one likes being in pain. Pain is discomforting. So we look up the top of the pendulum here. We've got persistent pain equals being less active. When we're less active, we get loss of fitness, weak muscles, and stiff joints. You create no-go lists of things you cannot do, so life starts to diminish. I can't do that because of my back. I can't do that because of my lower back pain. Watch out for me because I've got a sore back. Sleep problems, tiredness, and fatigue kicks in. Now, a lot of people that suffer back pain are also suffering from sleep issues. Stress, fear, anxiety, anger, and frustration set in. Now, if you're in pain, you're frustrated. If you're sleeping less, you've got anxiety and you're stressed. This can lead into medication and medication side effects. The medication of NSAIDs, anti-inflammatories, endone, sleep medications can all have negative effects when long-term used in the body. They can create weight gain or weight loss, which also diminishes your musculoskeletal function. You get negative thinking, fear of the future, stress responses kick in, depression and mood swings, time off work, money, worries, relationship concerns. All because of something that started small and was persistent pain. Now, if you've gone through the cycle of back pain, you will understand this immensely. And a lot of my clients were in a position just like yourself. Now, a little bit about myself. I've been helping people for the last 15 to 20 years, helping people get fit, healthy, and strong, recovering from back pain, getting stronger, getting fitter, getting healthier, and improving their quality of life. Years and years in the experience in the industry, over the world, learning from the best. I have a Facebook, I have a YouTube, I have an Instagram, I have a website. Check them all out. Now, what is strength training? Now, when we're talking about lower back pain, we must be looking at strength training. Now, depending on what your lower back pain is and where it is coming from, that helps us identify the causation. Now, what is strength training? Resistance against gravity that promotes movement and increases longevity to muscle and skeletal tissue. Now, lack of movement, as we go back to here, decreases muscle strength and increases joint stiffness and loss of fitness. So if we can't provide a force against gravity, our longevity to our skeletal muscle decreases, which increases pain. We decrease muscle atrophy and increase sarcopenia. Now, I talk about sarcopenia and atrophy a lot more in my book in a lot more detail, but sarcopenia is age-related muscle wastage. Atrophy is the loss of muscle through lack of use. Exercise that increases bone mineral density and improves posture. That is what strength training is. If you are improving bone mineral density and you're improving your posture, you are strength training it correctly. Now, talking about back pain, we must talk about fascia. Fascia is the most important connective tool at all. Now, I talk a lot more detail about each and every slide here in my book, but the fascia is like a connective tissue that circulates and runs all through deep within our muscle filaments and tissue. That fascial system can adapt to mechanical stress. Now, if the mechanical stress is dysfunctional in our body, the fascia will remodel to a dysfunctional pattern. Now, what is human movement? So the National Academy of Sports Medicine says human movement is accomplished through three systems within the human body: the nervous system, the skeletal system, and the muscular system. All components must work together to produce movement. These three systems are referred to as the kinetic chain. If one component is not working properly, it will affect the other. This is why I was talking about fascia, because it is the most important connective tool relative to back pain, because it is controlled by the central nervous system. The central nervous system is a very, very important part to optimal human movement. Now, let's talk quickly about biological tensegrity. Biological tensegrity is a fancy name for balance. It is an architectural term. But in the body, as you can see here, one thing is not isolated, everything is connected to the other. So when gravity forces pressure for us to move our muscle and skeletal system together, a balanced system needs to occur to create a tensegrity pattern. Posture. Ankle pain, knee pain, hip pain, lower back pain, all affected by posture. Now, if we go back to the biological tensegrity here, a chain is no stronger than its weakest link. Tensegrity means integrated or floating compression that in isolation, under compression, supports and stabilizes a structure. It is a structural principle of architecture. It is an elegant way of describing how the human body works. And an introduction to biological tensegrity opens up to the understanding that nothing in the human body is isolated. Now, I must stress this because a lot of people think that lower back pain is isolated just to the lower back, and this is completely false. As we can see here, ankle pain, knee pain, hip pain, lower back pain are all affected by posture, and posture is dictated by biological tensegrity. A common name used for this is referral pain, where one muscle is weakened to its structural capacity relative to the surrounding environment of the tissue. What this means is if the ankle is not working effectively, the knee will not work effectively, the hip joint will not work effectively, and the sacroiliac joint of the leg bone to the hip bone won't stabilize the lower back effectively, and you will create an imbalanced biological tensegrity. Now, I talk a lot more detail about this in my book. It is the causations of back pain, understanding the biological, the physiological senses of why back pain occurs and how you can start to rectify it. Fascia is so important to the nervous system and how the body functions for optimal longevity. So learning how to facilitate fascial mobilization is very, very important for optimal longevity and removing your back pain. Now, if we look at fascia, the layers of fascia are circulated by layers of what's called hyaluronic acid. This is a fluid-based compound that runs in between the muscle filaments and helps the muscle filaments slide effectively so that you can have better pain-free movement. Hyaluronic acid also plays a healthy role in skin regeneration. It helps bring water and hydrogen to the cells to create fluid, which helps those filaments of the muscle slide more effectively. It helps promote detoxification. It helps support healthy fascial remodeling, and it helps remove the patterns that are related to tightness, stiffness, and pain. This is where specific myofascial release techniques are very, very important. Now, a lot of people with back pain that have been suffering from back pain may have been on medication, may be lacking in movement, may be less facilitated, and may be suffering other health conditions as well. Now, dermatology and endocrinology research published supports that functions of hyaluronic acid include the following: hydration, lubrication of joints, a space-filling capacity, and the framework through which cells migrate. The synthesis of hyaluronic acid increases during tissue injury and wound healing, and hyaluronic acid regulates several aspects of tissue repair, including activation of inflammatory cells to enhance the immune system response and the response to injury of fibroblasts. The epithelial cells, which are the skin cells, hyaluronic acid also provides the framework to blood vessel formation, fibroblast migration, which is an immune cell. They help facilitate regeneration of tissue and cartilage structure that may be involved in tumor progression. The correlation of hyaluronic acid leaves on these cells surface of cancer cells with the aggressive of tumors has also been reported. So what this means is when you produce healthy levels of hyaluronic acid, it is immune supporting. It supports the immune system. It helps the body detoxify. Specific levels of fascial rolling are dictated to trigger points in the body. One point has a direct effect on another part of the body. This is where that biological tensegrity comes into play. It's the same premise of how acupuncture works. A stimulation of one muscle line can help facilitate movements in another muscle line. So understanding how to do fascial release techniques effectively are very, very effective in improving hyaluronic acid production, removing degraded hyaluronic acid, which means hyaluronic acid is loss of oxygen because you are moving less, and helps the body move more effectively. Now, movement and exercise promotes health. So if you're not moving and exercising effectively, your health can be diminished. This can be relative to high blood pressure. This can be related to cardiovascular disease. This can be related to diabetes. So other health aspects can come into play by simple, practical methods. Now, research suggests that a specific increase in vascular endothelial function was improved, blood pressure was significantly decreased after bouts of wave stretching incorporated with fascial remodeling techniques. So what this research is saying is that respectively, the analysis suggests that stretching exercises reduce arterial stiffness, heart rate, and diastolic blood pressure, and improve vascular endothelial function in middle-aged and older adults. Now, this is the percentage where back pain is most common and most prevalent relative to the muscle atrophy and sarcopenia, which I talked about at the start of the lecture. Aging and cardiorespiratory fitness, aging and muscular function, frailty and disability, all the hallmarks of aging. So we want to age healthily. As I was talking about before about hyaluronic acid is anti-aging. It helps regenerate immune cells. It helps regenerate cartilage cells. It helps regenerate tissue. Aging and cardiorespiratory fitness. Aging of skeletal muscles have a low capacity to use oxygen effectively. So the older your muscles are relative to your biological age, not your chronological age relative to how many times you've been around the sun, but your biological age to your body, decreases your ability to maintain oxygen. When you are unable to maintain oxygen, increased peripheral resistance occurs. This reduces muscle capillary density, creating endothelial dysfunction, which is the cardiovascular function, the linings of the heart. Changes in skeletal muscle microcirculation and reduced muscle oxidative capacity. So it reduces your ability to use your muscles effectively. It creates endothelial dysfunction, which is the lining of your heart and your arteries, and increases oxidative stress and reduces your muscles' ability to maintain oxygen to help you move. This is why you become stiff and tight. Muscle mass usually starts to decline at the ages of 25 to 30 years of age, such that on average 40% of muscle mass is lost by 80 years. In turn, a quality loss in muscle cross-sectional area is a major contributor to the decrease in muscular strength seen with advanced aging after 60 or 70 years. So maintaining good strength and good posture is classified as anti-aging. When you increase muscle density, you increase the ability for the muscle to maintain oxygen. When you increase the body's ability to maintain oxygen, you decrease oxidization, which is the loss of oxygen, and oxygen is imperative for healthy cellular activity. When you lose oxygen in the muscle system, this is what sarcopenia is referred to as, and this is age-related muscle loss. So maintaining oxygen is classified as anti-aging. You decrease the loss of oxygen, you decrease sarcopenia, you are slowing down the aging curve. Now, as you can see here, what happens when we age? The effects of aging. Cardiovascular function goes down, blood pressure rises due to that cardiovascular function. We get decreased neurogenesis, which is the generation of new neural pathways. Neural degeneration occurs, cognitive alterations increase. Muscle function decreases, muscle strength and power decreases, balance and mobility decreases. We increase the risk of osteoporosis, bone breakages, poor movement ability, less self-care, less optimal function. So prevention is better than the cure, with small, simple steps to promote anti-aging, to promote the loss of muscle tissue, sarcopenia, and promote healthy oxygen uptake. Now, how to keep your heart rate to an optimal level to maintain oxygen saturation. It doesn't have to be that hard. The research suggests that between 130 and 150 beats per minute for 20 to 45 minutes, 2 to 3 times a week. That's a vigorous walk. That increased to 14% of increased VO max, maximal volume of oxygen. Regular exercise, particularly dynamic exercise, moderate intensity, 70% of VO2 max, increased the aerobic energy pathway and large muscle mass. So increasing oxygen saturation helps your muscle mass stay active, decreasing sarcopenia. These adaptations occur at between 130 and 150 beats per minute, which for most can be a brisk walk. The fitter you are, you might have to exert yourself a little bit more. But for most people that are suffering back pain, it is a brisk walk. Exercise and strength training using bands, resistance, and bodyweight exercises are proven to promote muscle tissue and prevent muscle wastage and sarcopenia. So it doesn't have to be hard. It just has to be done correctly with the right system and tools to follow. Now, in my book, you can follow my Instagram page. You can also join my support group on Facebook at Fix My Back. Please leave a comment below. I will tag the group. Click and join the group. You can purchase my book at www.fixmyfback.com, and you can discover the causations of back pain, read a little bit more about back pain, and start to receive professional help to get you fit, healthy, and strong, remove your back pain, decrease the cycle of back pain, and improve your optimal longevity.